Hello.
Hello. It's a very nice intro.
Yeah, it's a posh little intro I thought I put on, you know. So,
yeah.
So, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just sharing at the moment, just into groups. I might not be able to share it directly on my page.
No, that's not a problem at all. We're going to do the same.
I can share it after.
Probably, no doubt. We'll probably end up sharing it to God knows all the same groups as well, won't we?
Yeah.
Just to be typical.
Right, so, all done.
Awesome. There we go. So we'll just build it up a little bit before we get started. And I love this little background because if someone lift my head up, look, you can see right through me. Now.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens when you got green on the hat?
You look like a ghost, Dan.
Oh, trust me, last night. So last night I went on and the funniest thing about it was I had a green t-shirt on.
Yeah.
So I had to put a jumper over the top. But of course, when I lifted my t-shirt up, all you could only see my face.
Yeah.
The old green screen was gone, you know. So I've got people in the chat. Awesome. Hi, Noreen. Hi, Drew. Hi, Katie. Hi, John. 6 cents. Shared and watch party started. Thank you very much, Lee. Hello, Julie. Hello, Donna. And hello, Lydia. I think you know Lydia.
I do. Hiya, Lydia. Hope you're all right.
There we go. So, and hello, Gina. There we go. So we've got a few people coming in now, up to 58. So, Lee Gandy, evening, guys. Hope you're well.
Hi, Lee.
I am.
I'm all right.
Most people probably know Charlene from her page Paranormal Hauntings. I will let Charlene tell you a bit about herself before we get started having a bit of a chinwag.
Yeah, so I am a paranormal investigator and researcher. I do live investigations, but I just don't do that. I also blog. I also dig into history of locations, try and tally that up with the investigations that we do, and try and link history to our findings and see if there is things that come together and make sense from what we've got. I do videos. Like last night I just did a one-off little chat after a chat I did on another page. So quite varied. I've got an haunted museum. Well, I call it a crypt. It's just got items in it that we study.
Crypt's probably more of an apt word. If you depends on whether you bring so many people in, you know. Really. Yeah, that's it. So we've got a few people coming on. We'll just say hello to Lydia Rose is asking if I'm okay. I am great. Yeah. Steve Jennings has popped on. Evening, Steve. Lee Gandy says hello to Charlene. Drew says hi Charlene. Katie Bukhari says hi as well. Ellie Mae Clayton, hello. Ellie is I don't know if you saw the live I did from Boughton Church a couple of months back. I had my friend and her daughter with me. Ellie's her daughter, the one that was with us that night. Hi Noreen Hill and hi Roddy Woodman. So basically, if anybody wants to come on and have a bit of a chinwag with us, feel free. I've pinned the link at the bottom. Anybody can come on if they want to have a chat. Ghost Hunters Northern, hi, how you doing? Be interesting to get you on.
We actually said that it would be quite interesting if anybody wants to share their ghost stories with us. That would be
good. Definitely.
Yeah. 100%. If anybody wants to join the chat to share a ghost story, we would love to hear it.
And John 6 cents just put a bit of a chat, a comment on there. Shout out, Dan, for Mike Oxmall, please. So, hi, Mike Oxmall. If you're watching, thank you very much for watching. So, yeah, Aidan Cassidy, hi, guys. How you doing? Brett Carruthers, hi, guys. What's your opinions on SLS cameras?
Shall I go?
Go for it.
I don't tend to use the SLS camera just because it does tend to pick up on a lot of doorways and the side of objects.
100%.
Now, I have seen once on somebody's, and a stick man was picked up in the middle of the room and nothing was around it. Now that's the only one time I've seen it, but that was interesting, because there was nothing around it that would help map that. But generally, I think it does tend to provide a few false positives.
Yeah.
Sorry, and
John 6 sorry to interrupt you. John 6 playing a trick on me. That was. Have a read of that.
Mike Os.
Yeah.
I hope you're all right, John.
He's in a naughty mood tonight. Sorry about that. So the
Are you blonde under that hat, Dan? No.
In need of a haircut, tell you that much. The grey's coming through.
Yeah, me and Dan have known each other years, actually, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah, just haven't met.
I bought a EMF doll off Dan years ago.
Yeah.
And that is what triggered my interest in haunted items. Did you know that?
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I was taking that out to investigations, and I was bringing it back home, and I think it had got an attachment to it, and it would start having activity around the doll at home.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh brilliant. That's something I didn't know.
That's your doll's fault that I've got these.
I've just actually sent out I gave away the doll I had, because I did the competition last month for the REM dog, and I had a REM doll as well, but I never used it. So I just gave that away to a friend as well today. So it was probably one of the, was it one of the ones with a sort of pink dress?
Yes, Molly. Yes. She's called Molly.
That's it. I remember Molly, the EMF dolly. There we go.
Yeah, Molly, the EMF dolly.
Unfortunately,
and she still works. 5 years later, she still works as good as she did when I first got her. So,
believe it or not, interesting story linking to that as well, though, is that the original EMF Teddy, which that was the concept from the doll came from as well. The original EMF Teddy that you saw on Ghost Hunters was actually built by the same guy who built that doll.
Oh, was it?
So, yeah, the first ever EMF Teddy made was bought on eBay and shipped over to America, and the original team of Ghost Hunters, they actually used it, and of course that Teddy was the one that sort of brought on the rest of the EMF Teddies that are being used now. So the guy who used to be in my group who used to build for me, he was the one who built the doll, and he actually built that Teddy as well.
Right.
So interesting bit of a fact for you there. So you've got the sort of I don't know whether we want to call it a love child of the EMF Teddy or something, but you've kind of got the next generation from the original that was on that. That's it. So where are we?
You should make more of them, Dan, because they are good.
Oh, to be honest with you, the thing was we used to import in the K2s, and we used to import them in from America, and we used to put them all in. It was just the import charges and everything was just unbelievable. So and then trying to do it. My understanding of wire and circuitry and everything wasn't the best, so that's why I had him do it for me. So I'm just having a little look back at the comments. We missed a few here. John says, laughing my arse off, you fell for it. Mandy Pell says, hi all, shared and watch party.
Hi Mandy.
Lydia wants me to read it again. Derek Lowe says hi. Ghost Hunters Norman says he's shared. Gina Island Marshall, one of the only paranormal teams that research locations and seek validation or evidence to back up their findings and investigations, paranormal hauntings. Exactly. And that's what I class myself as, a ghost hunter mainly, rather than yes, on my page it says a paranormal investigator and entrepreneur, but I think people understand it a bit more if you put paranormal investigator. But I class myself as a ghost hunter because I go out looking for spirits, whereas you go out, you investigate, you log it, you blog it, you vlog it, and you actually.
My aim is to document it.
That's it.
And and being like that can be a bit boring to some people, but that's what I enjoy doing. And
but then you put your heart and soul into it. That's the difference, you see, is you put your all into it. That's why you've got such a big following on Facebook. You've got a big group that, you know, is going as well, you know, and you've got, you know, you're successful in what you do with it, you know. And the great thing about it as well is that you're very humble as you do it. That's the thing. You know?
Yeah, I try to give all sides to it, and I try to, you know, and I always give two sides of the coin, and I don't say it's one way or in this way. I always try and do it as if to give people their own thought on it, really, and to give it from all sides and leave them to decide for themselves. And it works. It does work.
Yeah, definitely. Thomas West says, hello, sweetie.
Hi, Tom.
Trisha wants me to say it again. No, I'm not going to say it again. Robin Pratt says hi. John Williams says hi.
Hi, John.
Lydia's laughing that much she can't breathe. John Sixth Sense, yeah, I'm good, Charlene. Ghost Hunters Northern, he's having a daft half hour. I think John Sixth Sense is going to get worse at 9 o'clock when he goes live, from the sounds of it.
To be honest, I need the laugh today. It's been a stressful day today, and I can't do lives of what you guys are doing. And these chats are really good at the minute. And for me, it brings me still in the field as well. So it's good for me, especially at this time.
Yeah.
Because I'd struggle. I would struggle to do it.
It's not easy at the moment, and you know, just being able to get out and not being able to work as well. I mean, that's the frustrating side of it. I mean, you know, I've been out and done an order today, but in a house that's being done out, so it's not, you know, there's not people around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a different story there. So, Mandy Bell, I'm not saying that. John says hi to yourself. John Williams. Phil be the Spirit says, all right, mate.
All right.
Mandy Bell saying hi to John Williams. Anna Doolan saying hi. How you doing? Anita Davis, hi, Dan and Charlene. Where are we? Elaine Farrell. I've sent some good screenshots into Charlene before, and she does give good feedback on them.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Carol Swindle. Bless. Hi, guys, have shared. Thank you very much.
Hi, Carol.
Julie Matthews. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Julie.
Steve Jennings. How do you flatten a ghost? Use a spirit level. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It is.
Margaret Kendall. I love going to ghost hunts with a special group of people, but I go to practice my gifts. That's the thing. Sometimes,
and that's what a lot of people do, you know, and that's why a lot of people go to like spiritualist churches, because a lot of people will go to a spiritualist church to practice and gain a better understanding of their gift. I completely understand where she's saying.
Got the big man Lee Roberts coming on saying hello.
Hi, Lee. I haven't seen you for a while, Lee. Hope you're all right.
I know, I've been the same. I haven't seen him for ages.
Hi.
Even the lovely Jane Harris is Emma Tonner. There we go, Jane Harris. Evening, guys.
Hi, Jane.
It's great to have some new big names, we should say.
That's
definitely. It. Emma Tonner as well. Hi, Dan. Where are we? Karen Lithgow. Where's the first place you would like to investigate after lockdown?
I've got mine. I've sorted it.
Yeah.
Yes, I've inquired to book a place in Derbyshire that I went to on Sunday.
Okay.
And it's called Codner Castle.
Oh, I know Codner Castle. You're gonna have to let me know about that, and I'll tell you what, I'll come and join you as soon as we're.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
And the cottage. So I want the castle, and I want the cottage.
That's good. Yeah, it's supposed to be a really good place. It's supposed to be really good.
You know, Most Haunted was supposed to have buried that doll on that land somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think that'd be quite interesting if we can work out where that is. Yeah.
It would, wouldn't it?
It would be, definitely.
Would. Bring your shovel, Dan. Bring your
That's
shovel.
Bring the shovel. Lydia Rose Tilbrook, one thing, don't listen to other people when they say an opinion about people. So, Charlene, you're lovely, she says.
Thank you, Lydia. Lydia has a nickname for me. It's Casper, don't you, Lydia?
I haven't met Lydia yet. I'm looking forward to. One of the things I was talking to Kenny about the other week was once this is all over, arranging something and getting out and doing an investigation with Kenny as well. So it'd be interesting to get out and meet Kenny and Lydia properly.
I think Kenny, if you're watching this with Lydia, you need to get out.
Yeah, 100%.
You do.
100%. Helen Keane, what do you think of some ghost hunters still going out on lockdown? Probably not the best. We discussed that one.
Yeah. well, for me, I mean, I'm NHS. You know, if I was to do that, it's going to look very, very bad on us. And this is why I shut my investigations off quite early on, because I could see the situation unfolding at work. They're not going to listen to what anyone says. They're just going to do what the hell they want anyway.
Yeah.
So just leave them to it.
Yeah. Let them carry on. Let them, you know, the frustrating thing is anybody who goes out and doesn't follow what the guidelines are there for, it's just putting other people at risk. No matter whether you're going off and you're social distancing or whatever, if you look at where just a cough, how far it can spread the situation, it's not the best thing to do. Stay at home, you know, do stuff like this.
To be honest, there's no reason why they can't work from home. They have done before.
Exactly.
And what they're going to do if we're going complete lockdown, probably work from home. So
exactly. Yeah. That's it. So, and we're all doing the best we possibly can. I mean, John Sixsense knows exactly the problem he's got. He's got underlying issues, so he's doing the best he can from home, having a chin wag. And it doesn't matter if you pull 1,000 people on or whether you pull 10 people on. If you're just giving somebody that hour of something different.
The thing is, at the minute, it's about looking after our mental health.
Exactly.
It really is, because people are stuck in, people are isolating, people aren't interacting with people as they normally would be.
That's it.
And to delve into a topic that's really interests someone, then it's going to help every night. That's really is.
Doing things like this is people get to see and have a chat and ask you questions, and you know, you can then sort of, you're interacting with people more as well, and it's that interaction with other people in the field. Just doing something like this is a bit different, rather than going and watching somebody walking around a graveyard or walking, you know. Yes, do your investigations on the back.
These chats as well, they show our personalities as investigators, 100%. And they show our knowledge.
Yeah.
And they're really, really good.
That's it.
You know, they're really, really good. I mean, they are. It gets us to delve into different areas of the field and talk about different things, don't it?
Yeah, definitely. Got one for you here. Amy, Paranormal Hauntings in the house.
Hi, Amy. Amy was going to join me tonight, but she couldn't. She's had to drop some essentials off to her nan, so
right, no worries.
Not been able to join us tonight.
I hope her nan's all good and staying safe. Vicky Glanville. Hi, Charlene. Not long come across your page and really like the way you work. Look forward to seeing more of your investigations once this lockdown is done with.
Thank you, Vicky.
What else we got here? Some reason I've just missed a few. There we go. There we
if
go.
It gets too dark in here, I'll turn the light on. At the minute, I'm liking the atmosphere.
I know. I'm doing well. I've got a graveyard behind me.
Yeah.
You're in a crypt in the dark.
Yeah.
Right. So, Aidan Cassidy, I didn't see your previous comment, I'm afraid. Noreen Hill, Charlene is missing the mud and fences.
I am. I'm missing climbing. I'm used to climbing over fences and rocks and saving Simon from dropping down ditches.
That's it. Trisha will tell you, with me, I'm the one that slides over on my backside when I go off places. So, Gareth Brennan, Dan, did you ever come to the house that used to belong to the snooker player in my hometown with us past it? I didn't, mate, no. So if you can get it again, go for it. Derek Lowe, who is Charlene and what is the name of her channel? So Charlene is, you missed the beginning of it, but Charlene is a paranormal investigator from, and her group is Paranormal Hauntings.
It is.
So you have a page and you have a group both under Paranormal Hauntings, don't you?
I do, and I also have Haunted Explorers, which is more for the abandoned, derelict places.
So it's a bit more urban exploring, but
yeah, but with the paranormal chucked in there.
Awesome. We've got people just saying, I think just letting him know. So Lydia's laughing still. Elaine Farrell says the cottage really looks good at Codnor.
Yes, it's got a really good history, hasn't it, Dan?
I've heard some really good stuff about the place as well.
Yeah.
I've heard some people have said, there's a lot of people have said stuff about it, and a lot of people have said such good stuff about it, but some people are saying loads and loads about it, and then you think to yourself, you and are about those people, some of them, because you know that you're a little bit like this about them. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
but the thing is, it depends. I think it depends on the night as well. Sometimes you go to a place and one night is enough, there's barely anything goes on at all, and then you go to a place another time and there's loads. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm thinking, with it being lockdown and with it being shut off for so long, the energy is going to be there, isn't it?
I think that's one of the benefits about this lockdown. I think this is the problem which people going out still don't realise. The benefit of this lockdown is that all these places that were overfished before, now they'll have anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 weeks, maybe longer, where they're not going to be visited.
And that energy is just going to build.
Exactly.
And I think the first few weeks of investigations is going to be quite lively.
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing some really good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheryl Stanley says, take some dowsing rods, see if they can lead you to the doll. That'll be a good one to try it out.
Yeah, it'll be a good one to do a few experiments with, won't it?
100%. Yeah, that'll be good.
Am I going dark now? Can you see me?
You are going a bit dark. Need a couple more candles. Lydia saying, I was brainwashed, it wasn't me. Dave William Harting, have you ever seen a half of a ghost before? Just wondering. So
Amy has.
Only partially manifested.
Amy has.
Top half or bottom half?
Bottom half. We did an investigation at Rock Church Cemetery in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And she's seen a little pair of legs next to a gravestone, and just stood there, but nothing at the top half.
Wow.
Because she always jokes that she's seen half of an apparition. She's like, why do I always get the half?
That's still that's still a lot, considering, because a lot of people don't normally see anything in that respect physically. No. I mean, I've seen something from the knee down. So partial in that respect, and it's interesting what a lot of people say about when you do see half of the apparition, because a lot of people believe that might be a different layer of an older building you're seeing, or where a building's changed potentially. So it is an interesting thing. Phil, be the spiritual gift.
I'm going to pop the light on now. 1 minute.
Hey.
There we go. We have lights.
See, I'm dying just to get out, because this has been sitting on my desk for ages, and I just want to get out and play with it.
Oh.
So my custom spirit box that I had made for me. So Jay at Conjured Souls built me a nice spirit custom one, and even put a posh name tag on it for me. Look. So,
it looks nice. That does.
Yeah, it's an old actual Roberts radio, so it's a proper actual old radio. But what we've done, we gutted it out, and then we put a hacked radio system into it.
Yeah.
So it's all proper posh on the inside, all properly boxed in and everything, you see. And it's even got the original sticky label on the inside, look. So from when it was made. So yeah, looking forward to having a play with that on the next investigation that I get to go out and do. So where are we? So John says he agrees Kenny needs to get out. He's missed in the community, 100%. We see Kenny doing investigations from his shed, but he definitely needs to be getting out and doing some investigations.
I hear so much good things about Kenny.
Yeah.
So many, you know, because we've all got shared followers, you know, and people do message you for chats and stuff.
Yeah.
And Kenny has such a good and loving following.
Yeah.
And
he's got a big heart as well, that's the thing.
And he's helping people.
That's it.
I know that, yeah, you know, he does help people.
And I think his live streams that he does from it, you know, that on his group page that he set up, him and Lydia set up. I think that, you know, I go on and have a chat with him on there sometimes, and you know, stuff he's doing on there is just helping those people that, you know, want to go on and watch him specifically, and they're interested, you know. And he's on for 3-4 hours at a time sometimes, you know. And you know, he definitely needs to get himself out and do some more investigations. So be looking forward to seeing some more from him. Kirk Parfitt is asking how everybody is doing. I think we're all plodding on, and it's probably
does
the best
anybody want to come on with us?
Yeah, if anybody wants to come on,
an experience.
I'll tell you, it'd be nice to get Kenny. It'd actually be quite nice to get Kenny on the screen actually for a couple of minutes, if Lydia wouldn't mind having a chat with him. He's probably live on his page now, knowing him. There you go. Kenny is going to do amazing. Plans in the pipeline for a long run. Already got his followers. He can do it 100%. Yeah, definitely. And one for you, from Drew. #NHS.
Thank you, Drew.
And big shout out for Drew, actually, before I just do John's. Drew, we've just set up a new page with him today for his readings. So he's going to be doing, he's got his own page now for his readings, which is going to be cool. John Williams, Dan Litchfield and Charlene Lowe Kemp. At the moment, there is a great unity movement, and you're both good to chat to and work with. Thank you, buddy.
At the minute, the unity is fantastic.
100%.
Really is.
100%, yeah. John's coming on and Phil are coming on Saturday night. So can have a big chinwag with them on Saturday. We have actually got somebody in the background. We have the big man himself.
How are we doing?
Hi, John.
How are we doing? You all right?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, good. Thank you. Good. I've only just come on to say hello quickly because I'm not staying around all night because obviously I've got my life coming on later. Are you both going to pop on because we've got some activities planned for some fun?
Definitely.
Including a challenge. And we're also not going to be limiting the discussion. So if people want to have a conversation about recent paranormal events in the community, you know, I'm more than happy because usually I limit it, but I don't get shit tonight. We've got, I watched a video earlier on YouTube of someone going into Asda and abusing staff.
Yeah.
And I was fuming.
I might have seen that too at some point last week.
Is that one of the kids, the two kids on the bikes?
No.
There's another one.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm talking about Mark.
Oh, you are talking about, yes, I know the one you're on.
I publicly did a live earlier to say I was ashamed that I've recently worked with them and Pinky and Perky as well. And it frustrated me a little bit. So
Pinky in the Brain, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, that's the one. That's right. And it kind of upset me, and so I kind of said I'm ashamed that I've worked with him because of it, because I saw him going in and giving this poor woman abuse. She stepped near him, and she's an oldish woman, and he just starts gobbing off at her. And I thought, and he walked up to a big bloke and didn't say fuck all to him. So yeah.
Oh, come on, I've got something to say to you about with that as well. So I'll come on to yours afterwards, and I'll let you know then.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and hopefully we can get you can get Mary back on. Mary was hilarious.
Mate, I've invited Mary. She's going to be on soon. Trust me.
Trust me, Charlene. If you didn't see John's live last night, you could
didn't know.
The guys could barely stop laughing. Mary was hilarious.
Oh, excellent. She's a woman from Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, she's she's just the funniest woman you've ever met.
Yeah.
And we're talking away. And I think there were like 500-600 people in chat, and she would just, no one could talk or type because she was that hilarious. It was just something beyond belief. So yeah, I'm going to invite her back in tonight. There was no paranormal discussions. It was all just piss takes, wasn't it?
As soon as John went live earlier on, everybody on there's going, "Are you going to get Mary back on?"
Oh.
Wow, she's stunning, mate. She's awesome.
She's going to be a regular.
That's what the thing is, though, is it's helping people, isn't it, through a really bad time, and we're here, and it is helping people to laugh. And
do you know what I would say at the moment? Other than a couple of people, have you noticed that the whole paranormal community is really coming together?
I think so.
Yeah. People that didn't even talk to each other before are all like communicating and working from the same kind of premise. And you know, I was kind of frustrated when I saw it all, and people are using the excuse that the reason certain groups going out is because it's their job, it's their full-time job. Well, live streaming is my full-time job. Yeah, it is what pays my bills. Yeah, it's what does everything. And unfortunately, we've got to follow the government guidelines, haven't we?
That's it.
Well, John, I'm proud that you've stayed in. Yeah. As an NHS worker, I'm proud that you've stayed in.
I don't know. I just felt like I went on and gave my opinion as their friend, and I just got shit all over on their show. So it's just like done. But you know, it just shows you, doesn't it? But everyone is coming together so nicely, and I'm proud of the paranormal community. Seriously.
While you're on, John, we've got somebody else just sitting in the background in the studio at the moment, and you had him on last couple of nights, I think, on yours, and we were talking about mental health and everything, and what Kenny's been doing with his group. But I believe this guy's name's Kirk, is it? Yeah,
Kirk's lives near me, and he started a depression and anxiety group. And shortly after, when we come out of lockdown, with Kirk's help, we're going to start some kind of charity if we can.
Yeah,
that'll be good. That'll be good.
So, guys, I'm going to have to shoot because I've got to go and get ready. But look, lovely to see you all, and thank you for having me on, yeah?
No worries, mate.
We'll
see you later. How you doing, Kirk?
Not too bad, Dan. How's you?
Yeah, not too bad, my friend. Not too bad.
Good.
So,
I've just got a quick question. Because honestly, I've never asked this, and I've always been wondering, how did you and Charlene get into the paranormal industry? How did you first think, do you know something? I want to start a ghost hunting.
Go on, Charlene. I'll let you start with that one.
I'll start then. So what happened with me is my dad died in 2012, and I had a number of experiences go off during his death that I can't explain to this day. And later, I was due to get married that year in the August, and he was due to walk me down the aisle, and there was a picture that a friend took in the church as everyone was waiting for me to come in, and she sent it me a few days later, and it had like an orb on it, and which I wasn't really interested at the time in orbs and stuff. But something told me to look at this picture more, and as I zoomed in, I could see what looked like my dad was waiting at the altar for me. And you know, he'd said to my mum, a few months before he died, because he died of cancer, and he got a diagnosis that had gone to his liver, and it'd gone throughout his body, and I think at that point he knew that he wasn't going to have long, and he wasn't sure how long. And he said, I don't think I'm going to make that wedding, but I will tell you what, if I don't make it in life, then I'm going to try. If I can't make it, if I die and turn into something, I will make it to go there. And like I say, and I got a picture, and he was stood there, what looks like he stood there at the altar. And I just thought to myself, there's something more out there. So me and my mum, we looked up ghost hunts. My mum went on one first, and I followed the week after on another one. And my first one was ever Doncaster. Is it St Catherine's?
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
St Catherine's in Doncaster. And I absolutely loved it. I went with an events team, and it was brilliant, and I was completely and utterly hooked after that. Absolutely hooked.
See, where Charlene and I have a bit of a similar with regards to when we started there, because I started in 2012 as well. And although beforehand I'd had experiences and heard experiences when my mum had them, because one thing I'll be straight with, it's one of the things I don't like about why some of the groups do it, some of the other groups are doing stuff that touch big cases like Myra Hindley and things like that, you know, is because my mum was, on 2 occasions when she was young, was nearly picked up by Fred West. So there's a possibility that if she had, well, obviously if she had have been got in the car with him when she was younger, I wouldn't have been here, you know. So and she wouldn't have been around, obviously, potentially. But in 2012 I got involved with, I had an ex that I was with, who her sister had a little one who was seeing an imaginary friend, and the imaginary friend was called Daniel. Now, everybody thought that because I was kind of the main role model in his main male figure in his life at the time, everybody thought that he'd named it after me. But then we found out that the nursery down the road, the kids at the nursery were also seeing this little boy, Daniel. And what we found out after a while, he was 3 at the time, and he came on and he just basically said to us, we asked him who Daniel was, and he said, it's a little boy who fell out of a tree behind the house and died. For a 3-year-old to come out with something like that was a little bit okay, you know. When we looked into it, behind the houses there's a stream, a brook, and it's actually named Daniel's Brook, and it was named after a little boy who'd fallen out of a tree and died. And that brook followed down behind their house, right down the road, and followed right behind the nursery, and all the way down to where all the flood defences were in Gloucester. And that's how I got into it, because we called in, because at the time they were seeing this little boy in the house. So we called in a local paranormal group. And at the time I got involved, because I always remember being there for their investigation. They had the K2 on the floor in the landing in the middle, and all we saw was the K2 flash, and all I heard then was like that, like a child running across a wooden floor. And I always remember that. And then when I walked down the stairs, we heard it again, and then the next thing you know, I had this big rush of energy come straight through me to the point that sent me wobbly kneed.
Yeah.
And that set me on the way of doing my own thing, and setting up my own group, and the rest is history.
There you are today.
That's it.
I've had a few experiences myself, but it's never been anything like set in stone. So it's like I'm what people call a skeptic. Obviously, you've heard of them. So it's like I do believe, but only to a certain extent, and it's like I always try to find something to prove what's just happened. So obviously, as John does, he's spirits meet science. He tries to debunk it before he can say, yeah, okay, that was a spirit.
Yeah.
And with me, it's and instead of me saying, okay, that was a spirit, no matter how long it takes, I always try and debunk it.
It's the best thing.
But obviously, I'm quite lucky, because obviously, as John said, he only lives just up the road from me. And he's been kind enough, bless him, to turn around and say that he's going to take me on a ghost hunt with him. As soon as this lockdown's finished, he's going to take me on a ghost hunt so I can experience what they experience. And he says that he's got a place in mind. It's out to where we live, and he says, guaranteed, I'm going to get converted straight away.
Yeah.
I'll probably know that place. I'll probably know where he's going to take you.
But it's like, until then, I'm obviously still going to be a skeptic. I mean, one of the first shows that I really watched of John's, there was in a pub, and he had two flashing balls on a windowsill, and one kept going off. And obviously, with me trying to debunk everything, I said to John, I said, are you sure that's just not a car driving past? Because there were cars going past. I said, are you sure that's just not a car going past, and the vibrations of the engine is altering the atmosphere? So what he did is he swapped the balls around, and that same ball that I moved from this side to this side, it was now flashing this side, and the previous one was still there.
Yeah.
But he did take them both off the window and shut them to prove that they were both working. So that, obviously for me at that point, I was like, okay, then that's got to be more than a vibration from a vehicle. And then obviously watching further into the live that I was doing, there were things that no matter how much I thought about it, no matter how much I tried to debunk it myself, there was no way that I could debunk it. It's like obviously there was glass thrown and stuff like that, but nobody was near the glass where it landed. And obviously from the distance of where the glass landed to where they were, it was so say they were here, the bar was over here, and it was coming from the bar area. So at that point it's like, okay, so how did that glass just land there? And obviously it's things like that I try to debunk, but sometimes I can't. So this is why I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
So I do believe in the paranormal life, but until I see something physically or experience something physically, then I'm always going to be a skeptic.
We was having this conversation yesterday, and it was regarding if I use like a protection when I investigate, and I always used to use a protection when I investigated, and then I stopped using it prior to doing an investigation, and that's because I simply want the most evidence that I can for myself. And it would be like yourself, you know, you could have a protection on it if you wanted, and it'd be advised to do that. But for you to really experience what you want to experience, then as long as you close down when you leave, you probably need to not do a protection because you want to experience the ultimate. So it makes you fully believe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, what would you say? Grounding and protection are the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. Because basically, what I said to John is when we go on this ground, I want us to be grounded. But okay. I didn't know grounded and being protected were the same thing. I thought grounded was basically to stop any negativity following you home.
Yeah, well, yeah, it can. I mean, I normally do it slightly different. So I'll you know, I used to do like a protection prayer prior to on opening, and then I'd do a shutting down prayer on going home and ask anything that was there to go. I suppose a grounding talk would do the same if you don't want anything attached and to come near you and attach and go home with you.
It's just the fact that obviously John's always said never do any investigations in your own home, which as an idiot I've done things like that. Obviously I've used the spirit box that John uses and stuff like that on my own device at home, and I wasn't really getting words through, but what I was getting through was somebody laughing at me, constantly laughing at me. No matter what I asked, it was just laughing at me. And then I spoke to John about it. He says, do not do anything in your own home. Not for you.
When you're first starting out, I wouldn't say to do it at home because, you know, you can, if you're getting things happen, it can encourage energy if it's in your home to come forward. You're calling out, aren't you, for anything to come forward and talk to you, and it don't have to be through a Ouija board. Any tool that we use is a form of communication. So a spirit box, you know, anything that we use is a form of trying to communicate. It's just that like a Ouija board has a bad stigma attached to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I if you're first starting out, I wouldn't do sessions at home.
So I only did the one, and I spoke to John, and John said don't do it at home. So I've never done it since then. But it's like my friend, well, where we live, there's a place called the Canch, and me and 3 friends was walking to one of my friend's house because we were going for a drink and a game of poker. And as we was going through this area, we got to a certain point of where a little girl drowned in the little riverbed. And as soon as we got to that point, all the lights in front of us just went off, but all the lights behind us were still lit up. But then as soon as we got past the next lamppost, they all come back on.
Okay, that's interesting.
What scared us the most is we saw a black figure run past us on the left-hand side, and then obviously the lights went out. And that's what confused me, because obviously at the time I couldn't debunk it.
Yeah.
But thinking back of it now, I mean, it could have been a wild animal. I mean, it could have been a squirrel. It could have been anything. So it wasn't like a human figure running past us. It was just like a little creature running past us.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was. I'd say it was no bigger than a Jack Russell. And
yeah.
There was no. At the time, because obviously it was pitch black, there was no confirmed figure to it. It just looked like a black shadow just running straight down past us. And then all the lights went out, and then as soon as that black figure had gone, all the lights come back on. So at that point, I was absolutely kicking myself. So I had no idea what it was. But then looking back on it now, I mean, to me, it could have just been a wild dog or a fox or something that had just ran past us. And it was just a coincidence that the lights went out at the same time.
Yeah. We're always going to try and find the logical.
Yeah.
It's natural to always try and find the logical. And what can normally happen is you can go on investigation and you can have things happen and you might not think of logical things at that time. And then you go home and you think, actually, when you thought about it some more, it could have been this and it could have been that, you know.
Well, that's when next time when you go, you get into doing those things again. You see, you know, then in your mind, you're going to go with a specific goal of trying to see if you can recreate what happened. And, you know, that's one of the things that I find a lot of people don't necessarily do is that. But again,
but then you're not always forced to. You're not always forced to experience that again. That could have been a one-off out of, you know, how many times does that occur? It might be absolute minimal. So the likelihood that you might actually capture that again is going to be minimal anyway.
Yeah.
So you've just got to try and.
That's the thing. Yeah, especially the lights going out.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've seen something dark and it's ran past and the lights have gone out with that as well, that's the added extra that's probably convincing you that it could be something paranormal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I mean, where this place is, where the Canch is, there's a church directly across the road from it called the Priory Church. Yeah. And on a different occasion, I actually got possessed there. So it's like we was walking past it, and obviously at that point, my two friends were into. I mean, one of them's pagan and the other one's Wiccan. Mm-hmm. So obviously they were doing their little bits and stuff like that around there. And then obviously the next thing I remember, obviously the first thing I remember is I was stood there with them, and then the next thing I remember, I'm laid out on the floor. And then when I managed to gain enough energy to stand back up, they basically said that I just like, it looked like my eyes rolled into the back of my head, and I just tried to spear one of my friends, just like running at him and trying to like smack them straight in the stomach with my head and knock them down to the ground. So
I think at that point, you see, it's where it's a good idea to have a word with people like John who can teach you how to do grounding techniques and things like that.
You're obviously quite open to it.
Yeah.
For a skeptical, to say you're skeptic of things, you're obviously very, very open to it. So for that to happen to you, you're very, very open and very, very vulnerable to it. So yeah, I would say you do need to do grounding and an opening and closing.
I have had a few instances where that's happened to me in the past, like not physically to me, but to items around me. And then obviously it's affected me since then. Like there was a time where I was sat in one of my old properties, and the whole entire base of a pint pot shattered into loads of little pieces. And also, as you know, that's the hardest part to smash. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that can smash that to throw it at the ground. But it was just sat on a unit, and the whole entire thing just shattered. And ever since then, I wake up with scratches all over my body. So John has said once all this lockdown's finished, he's going to sit down with me and have a look at it and obviously cleanse me and obviously start teaching me how to ground myself properly.
I'd probably in the meantime suggest maybe getting some sage and burning that in the house to start with as well.
I've done that. I've used white sage. And it still happens. So I don't know.
I was gonna say sometimes cleansing don't always stop. Sometimes you can cleanse and sage, and activity will kick up.
Right.
And I find that a lot when we do private houses, when we go, you know, and when I tell people to do that, they tend to come back and report that it kicks up a little bit.
Do you know what? I think that going back to the TV shows like Ghost Hunters, when they originally started out, what they used to talk about was it's down to you sometimes it's down to the person and the people in the house as well. It's not necessary. And I always think that poltergeists, for example, they use the term poltergeist and they say about they're an angry spirit. Well, how has that spirit got the energy to be angry? Well, that comes from us. That energy does, and what's around it. So if you are putting out an energy of fear, of any form of negative that side of energy of the energies, you're potentially going to have those things then, because what you put out you get back potentially. So if you keep that open-mindedness but also ground yourself and try and also go down the routes of staying as more as upbeat as you possibly can. I know it's very hard because
I mean a poltergeist loves negative energy, so a poltergeist absolutely loves arguments in a house. It thrives off them,
but it's only there because of what we give out and what is around it.
I think this is why I've had so much negative energy around, because obviously everything that's happened in my life has always led me to believe in negative stuff. So I'm always thinking negatively. I mean, I suffer with severe anxiety and depression and PTSD, which is all negative. So I think when I go on this ghost hunt with John, I think we may get a bit more reaction than usual. So I'll say I am full of negative energy right now. And I do struggle to find the positive in things. So I'm just wondering if that like enhance the spirits to be able to react more with us being there.
I think so.
It could possibly. Like I say, if there's negative energy there, then anything negative likes to cling to the more vulnerable, which is probably you're quite vulnerable in the state that you say that you feel negative about things and stuff. So it's quite possible that activity around you could ramp up because of that.
What Charlene will probably agree with me on this one with what we were saying a bit ago about now we're on lockdown and the energies are building up and all these places that were overfished before, potentially there's going to be something there that's going to go boom, when you're out, so it would be worth, especially if you're not in the best place mentally at the moment, that side of things, it would probably be best to maybe go and have a sit down with John or somebody, or do it online, at the moment, and prepare yourself for it, I was just bringing up before we go any further with that. Sorry, we had Sarah Lewis said on here, her hubby's auntie was a medium and she passed now, but we opened a doorway up and the house was full of negative spirits. She had to get rid of them, which was lesson learned. So that sort of leads on from there, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why also my name is the Chat Show Hall is because I'll say every time John does a live where it gets his viewers to come in, I'm always in there. Obviously, Phil did one yesterday, I jumped in there. Obviously, you're doing one yesterday, I jumped in there. Because I'll say I suffer with asthma as well. So I'll say I've been advised by the NHS to be in full lockdown for 12 weeks. I can't go to the shop. I can't go outside for a run or something. So I don't get that much human interaction. So things like this, it is like my way of having a social life, I could say. So obviously being locked up on your own all the time, that's also building my negative energy up as well, and stuff like that. So obviously having these discussions where I can come on and speak to people and stuff like that is relieving a bit of that negative energy, because also I'm still having human interaction. But I think what I want to do is, also as soon as this lockdown's done, is to go before I sit down with John properly, is to go out with John and the team, do a ghost hunt and stuff. So that's when the negative energy is going to be at its peak. So obviously at that point, if obviously what you're saying is true, that the entities feed on the negative energy, I think that would be the best time for me to be able to get a proper response from it.
I'll be 100% honest with you there, though. I'd probably disagree with you on that to a degree. I would probably, personally, I would say you'd be better off, whilst we're on lockdown,
meditating, grounding,
learning how to ground yourself, things like that, first of all. So you're going into it prepared.
Right.
What you don't want to do is go into it and not be prepared, you know?
Yeah.
What and John wouldn't, I know John wouldn't forgive himself if you went home and you had something attached to you, or something negative was there, or something happened to you. So I would suggest that, especially if you trust John as a medium, I would say I say to anybody, find a medium that you trust, no matter who it is, as long as you trust them fully and wholeheartedly. Whilst we're on lockdown right now, it's a perfect opportunity over something like this, or just on Messenger video chat or something, to sit down and talk to them and get them to teach you ways of grounding yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, obviously, with John being so busy, it's hard to be able to sit down with John, and obviously, unless I book in.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is this payday coming up, which is this Thursday, I'm going to book in with John and Joe together. And obviously, even if it's not a reading or like that, just obviously booking with them, and just, so I've just got that time with them, because obviously I know that they're busy with obviously the lives, with what they do on Facebook, obviously with everything that they're getting prepared for, obviously after lockdown's finished. I know obviously they do readings as well in between that, so obviously they are very, very busy people. So I think the only way that I'll be able to sit down with them is to obviously.
I think knowing you and knowing your background, your situation.
We don't know each other on a personal level, you see.
No.
Also, we've only been starting to get to know each other since also I joined the group
Well, I think from what they know of you so far, John would make a point of making time for you.
Yeah, definitely. I know it would.
Do you know what I mean? I think he would make a point of making time for you, even if it was on a day that he doesn't. I think he would do that just because that's John. That's who he is.
Yeah, I know. He's exactly the same as me. He'd help anybody out without asking for anything back.
Yeah.
But I've always been one of these people that if people are going to help me, I'm going to help them.
That's it.
So obviously, if John's going to sit down and obviously take time out of his day. To help me, then obviously I'm going to be wanting to give something back. So I'm going to give him some money for his time. So he's also losing out on money by helping me for nothing. So obviously at that point he could have been doing a reading for somebody else, and obviously get paid for that. So obviously that's his job. Mm-hmm. So obviously I'd never take time out without giving something back to him.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing for me to do would be to book in with him, and obviously pay for his time. And then obviously, at least that way, I can get his undivided attention instead of saying, I'm going to have to cut this short because I've got to go do this. And then obviously, I can get the full experience of what John does and obviously learn a lot more.
Yeah.
Do you do meditation as well?
No, I've never. I've tried to do meditation in the past, but my body doesn't react to it properly. I mean, it just doesn't close down because the amount of stuff that I've got going on.
You're a lot like me in that respect. It's a concentration thing, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I mean, I suffer with ADHD as well, so I can't concentrate on nothing for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I would suggest is 100% have a good chat with John. I'm sorry to cut you short because we're just running out of time now because John's about to start, and we're all going to jump over and say hello to John, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to say I've just seen him go live.
1 minute to 9 at the moment, so that hour's pretty much flown by.
It has.
Do you want to quickly say about your group that you've got?
Yeah, definitely. It's actually blown up since last night. I mean, I run a anxiety and depression page on Facebook, which basically just allows people that are having a struggling time, obviously, especially with lockdown happening, to come across, and whether it's to speak to me and vent out to me, or whether you speak to the other people in the community, it's just another way for people to vent off without having to go and see a psychiatrist or see a therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually had 102 people yesterday. Since obviously John and Phil have been spreading out, we're now up to 1,144 within the space of less than 24 hours.
Well, by all means, post up in my group.
Same as mine.
By all means, Paranormal Hauntings group. I'll support it, and Haunted Explorers, and see if we can get a few more people in.
I appreciate that. I mean, what I've done as well is obviously the 3 people that have obviously like put the word out about my group. I've also put them in my group as well. So that's getting their page out there as well. Because I mean, there are a lot of people that are having struggled with closure from the spiritual side as well. So obviously, if I can put your groups out there as well, then obviously it may give them that bit of closure as well.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed we've been able to help you out in some ways and give you some advice.
You have, definitely.
You know, but I'd have a good chat with John, and I know I've seen some comments going on about angry faces and things, but I think some people's beliefs within terms of payment and stuff like that are different. I know John for fact will help you out no matter what.
I know well.
And that whatever in terms of, you know, value is placed on it is is between you and John. It's really none of mine or Charlene's or anybody else. Do you know what I mean? It's not we can't really comment on that. That's kind of that sort of side of things goes between you and John itself. So so we're going to say goodbye now to Kirk. Thank you very much, Kirk. Send me a message with your page name and I'll put it on my page as well, if that's cool. You're a star. Thanks, Kirk. Thanks for coming on.
Right,
thank you, Kirk. Take care.
See you,
Bye. Bye.
Right, Charlene, that hour's pretty much flown by.
I know. We'll have to do it again.
Certainly, yeah. We'll book you in a couple of weeks' time or something. So, awesome. And thank you again for coming on. Please, everybody, go over and say hello to Charlene and follow her on her pages and groups. And you can't miss her. Paranormal Hauntings. And thank you very much again.
Thank you, everyone.
Head over and see John's page now, and we'll have a good old watch of what he's going to do. And I'm no doubt we'll all laugh our heads off, especially if Mary's on. See you all soon. Cheers.
Bye.